Hello, citizens of Gotham. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching the Political Vigilante. Thank you for watching, everybody, on the CIA Tube and the Facebook and the Rockfin. Hit the like button, share this out on your social media that we are live. I'm enjoying it. Delicious Costco sparkling water. That's good. That is good. We're going to be talking a little bit about a think tank that gets money from the military-industrial complex and has a bunch of people in the media. We're just going to discuss that. It was submitted by a Patreon supporter, Tim Stack. Great way to support the show is go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood. Also go to rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. I'm going to do this segment and then answer some questions. Great way to support the show is if you go over to rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. There's a tip feature. Since we are still not allowed to super chat, no one can super chat on my show. Oh, right. 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 Hello, Venetia David and everybody watching over on the rockfin.com. Boom. Shellac-a-lac. All right, let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I shop at Costco. They pay their employees well, and it's great deals. It'd be great if they had a union as well. And you can also do Venmo at Graham-Elwood. Here is the Rockfin channel. Boom. I think you'll like the movie Elysium. It kind of predicted the billionaires race to space. Yeah, I remember when that movie came out. I was like, oh, this is going to happen. And it is. Billionaires are flying into space. That's great that the billionaires are flying their cock rockets into space. All right, let's get into this segment. Here we go. Kate, our moderator, is at the helm. Show Kate some love, everybody. Shatter's going into space. Okay, here we go. Hello, Graham from Portland. What's up? How's Portland? Keep it weird. Oh, Ron and I, today's the 12th. We would be in New York City if we were still doing our tour. Okay, anyway. Here we go. Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching the Political Vigilante. Well, what if I told you there's a country out there that has like a think tank that is funded by the military-industrial complex, all the defense contractors, and the people that have come out of there are in the media, and some of them even within the upper echelons of the government. Which country would you think this was? North Korea? China? Russia? You'd be wrong. It would be the United States of America, ladies and gentlemen. This was submitted by Tim Stack. A great way to support our show is go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood. That's what Tim has done. You can submit articles like this. The top New York Times, Washington Post experts affiliated with Pentagon-funded CNAS think tank. Watch behind the headlines correspondent Dan Cohen explain how top foreign policy reporters are linked to the U.S. government, weapons industry, and oil corporations, the very forces they are supposed to hold accountable. See, if we had an actual free media, and it's not fake news, they give us the news, and oftentimes they're giving some factual information, but they slant the angle of it. right? Sometimes they just flat out lie. We know that. But sometimes they'll give you the factual information, but they go like Biden should have, he didn't handle Afghanistan the right way. Well, okay, that gets us back into this same, boy, if Trump was president, he would have handled it better, or this party's better than that party. It doesn't look at the overall $3.5 trillion that was wasted by 4 presidents in both political parties over 20 years, meaning we never should have been in Afghanistan in the first place. They're not going to have that. They're always going to frame the conversation or the debate in their way. And this is why, because here in Washington, as I said, it's not North Korea. The think tank inside this nondescript building, Center for a New American Society. Oh, God. Anytime it's got that new American patriot freedom, you're just like, it's got to be evil, is the clearest example of just that. CNAS is a premier militarist think tank in the nation's capital, especially for Democratic Party administrations. It is funded by the State Department and the Pentagon and has taken more money from weapons companies over the last several years than any other think tank. So this is how incestuous it is. They get money from the State Department and the Pentagon, and then has also taken money from the defense contractor. So if you've thought for a second that our State Department and our Pentagon were like part of America's freedom, they're just part of, it is the political branch of the military industrial complex. And these think tanks are in all the time. And we're going to get into all the reporters, and I'm going to put the link in the show notes to read the entire article, because it's going to just go through this reporter for the New York Times, this one Washington Post, and this is the crap that they push, right? I mean, we know the Washington Post, look, is owned by Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos was paid $600 million by the CIA to host their servers. I mean, this is the Washington Post that did all these negative articles and stories about Bernie Sanders, because Bernie Sanders would not be spending all this money on war. But it's not just the media, kids. It's Joe Biden's cabinet. From President Joe Biden, CNAD serves as a farm from which key positions in his administration are cultivated. In fact, at least 16 CNAS alumni are now in key positions in the Biden Pentagon and State Department. I mean, the most there's the most obvious ones, like his Secretary of Defense was on the board of directors at Raytheon. And remember when when he got nominated, last about a year or so ago, when all the maybe beginning of the year for the nominations were happening, and everyone's like, first Black Secretary of Defense. Okay, great. Oh, and by the way, he was on Raytheon's board of directors. And that was like, no, it should have been the reverse. They should have said, this is a clear conflict of interest. This is not good. This bodes poorly for any sort of peace efforts. They're going to just keep spending money on war and war and war. Oh, and by the way, he's the first Black. That's how they should have done it. But they made it's the most diverse cabinet. Not divert. There's no diversity of ideology in Joe Biden's cabinet. And this is more evidence. So again, it's not just his State Department. It's the whole Pentagon. But what's most shocking is that several national security and foreign policy reporters from elite U.S. media and outlets are affiliated with CNAS and therefore indirectly affiliated with and likely paid by the U.S. government and corporations, the very forces they should be holding accountable. So this is why, I mean, this is not the media if we had an actually functioning democracy, the media holds those in power accountable. That's what the media should do. The media should be screaming from the mountaintops how these are clear conflicts of interest. But when the media is owned or funded by big corporations and big business, I mean, they're just a part of it. So they're going to feed you their propaganda. And some of it, there'll be some factual information in there, but even the way they frame it will be nonsense, will be there to fill their financial needs. Here's a very egregious example. For more than 20 years, New York Times Washington correspondent David Sanger has relentlessly pushed deceptions to con the public into supporting U.S. aggression and war. From the George W. Bush administration's lies about WMDs in Iraq to lies about Iran attempting to create nuclear weapons and evidence-free claims from intelligence agencies about Russian cyber attacks. Sanger's colleague, Eric Schmidt, senior correspondent covering national security for the New York Times, is also in residence at CNAS. Back in 2020, Schmidt was promoting the obviously false Russian bounty story, which was later retracted after it served its political purpose to force Trump to take a harder anti-Russian stance. So when you think of the military-industrial complex and the permanent war state, don't forget about what might be the most important component of all, the media. And this is why Fox News serves such a critical role. So Fox News says crazy nonsense, right? Fox News says crazy nonsense. So then, well, the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal and CNN, they're telling us the truth. The New York Times, if I read it in the New York Times, an op-ed piece or the New York Times, I trust them a little more. This is why the right will go to war if there's like a fear or America's freedom. They're sold American freedom, American freedom. The liberals will gladly go to war if a Democrat says it. If a Democrat says we got to go to war, then liberals will go, yeah, I guess we had to go to war. And this is how easily they're fed it, because they'll read it in the New York Times like, well, if I read it in the New York Times, then I trust that better than Fox News. Do you see how you, as Noam Chomsky called it, you manufacture consent? You divide the country up very easily, red state, blue state, Fox News, MSNBC, whatever. You get Americans to pick one of those teams, and you can get them to believe whatever you want. All you got to do is say the other team is feeding you nonsense, but we're feeding you the truth, and you control all of it. Right? So there's nobody on either of these parties going, what the hell did we waste $3.5 trillion and thousands of lives in Afghanistan for the last 20 years? What the hell did we do? So now we're just going to bicker back and forth whether Republicans think Joe Biden pulled out too soon. Trump should have this and Biden should have that. And so we're just going to get into this dumb manufactured red versus blue, slap fight, rather than go, the military industrial complex got us into Afghanistan, not to protect women or end the Taliban or keep America safe. They just did it because it was a cash cow. The two big winners in Afghanistan, the Taliban and the military industrial complex. Those are the two big winners. Taliban's doing, my God, I mean, look, the Taliban got replaced by a Taliban with now more American weapons. The Taliban, which was back channeling, which was offering up to surrender in 2001. They're like, we don't want to do this. And we said no, because if we would just let them surrender and we just roll in there and set up the government and get it going, well, then we can't have 20 years of war. Do you see how this is done? And nobody in any of the media, New York Times, Fox, ABC, none of them are ever going, what the hell are we doing all these wars for? Why are we spending all this money on war? These are people paid by this think tank, which is funded by the State Department. So explain to me how RT is state-controlled media, but the New York Times and CNN and Fox are not. How are they not state-controlled media? And liberals are such suckers that if it comes out of CNN's mouth or the New York Times mouth, they'll believe it. And hey, man, conservatives are such suckers. If it comes out of Hannity's mouth, they'll believe it. They'll believe it. And it keeps the goal of everybody divided, distracted, and afraid. And how do we sell this to American people? With ads like this. I've shown you this before. Looks exciting. What is this, an ad for computers or cell phones or cutting edge technology? What? Oh, green energy? Trains? Is it green energy? Connecting the world. Let's live in peace. Oh, war.
We see these beautiful pictures at night from the decks of these two U.S. Navy vessels.
Wonder how much he was paid to say that.
I am tempted to quote the great Leonard Cohen, "I'm guided by the beauty of our weapons."
We are one global team,
creating trusted, innovative solutions
to make the world a safer place.
Raytheon. They buy ad time on him. You think Brian Williams you don't think he was paid to say that? Or at least had a producer in his ear going, hey man, the weapons guys spend a lot of money here, so you can have your house in the Hamptons. So give him a good plug on Rocket Day. That's what that was. No mention of, wow, these rockets are going to go kill innocent people. Wow, these rockets could have been spent on schools and spent on Americans. Again, just look to Afghanistan. Look at the $3.5 trillion spent by both political parties in 4 different presidencies over 20 years. What could that money have done? $3.5 trillion. We could have student debt forgiveness. We could have like Medicare for all. There could be no more homeless people in this country. We could have a great Green New Deal. You know, we could be sitting here 20 years of implementing a Green New Deal. We could be 20 years removed from like, oh, we want to get rid of no more after 9/11, no more entanglements with the Middle Eastern oil. We just don't want, we're off of oil. We're done. And we could be sitting here living in this like green utopia, all Americans having great jobs, free college, good healthcare, free healthcare. But no, thanks to companies like this and those think tanks, CNAS, we have this craziness. I feel like we've been warned about this.
Smedley Butler, a U.S. Marine Corps General Major who was the most decorated Marine at the time of his death, stated it well when he wrote,
I spent 33 years and 4 months in active military service, and during that period, I spent most of my time as a high-class muscle man for big business, for Wall Street and the bankers. In short, I was a racketeer, a gangster for capitalism. I helped make Mexico safe for American oil interests. I helped make Haiti and Cuba a decent place for the National City Bank boys to collect revenues in. I helped in raping of half a dozen Central American republics for the benefit of Wall Street. I helped purify Nicaragua for the International Banking House of Brown Brothers. I brought light to the Dominican Republic for the American sugar interests. I helped make Honduras right for the American fruit companies. In China, I helped see to it that Standard Oil went on its way unmolested. Looking back on it, I might have given Al Capone a few hints. The best that he could do was operate his racket in 3 districts. I operated on 3 continents. War is a racket. It always has been. A few profit and the many pay. But there is a way to stop it. You can end it by disarmament conferences. It can be smashed effectively only by taking the profit out of war.
That's hard to do. That's really, really hard to do when the whole thing is bought and paid for. The so-called liberal media is just people pushing for war. So what the neoliberals do is they push for diversity and stuff like that. But again, it's not diversity of ideology. Joe Biden has the most diverse cabinet ever, but no one in there is anti-war. There's no socialists in his cabinet. There's no Greens in his cabinet. There's not even libertarians in his cabinet. There's just war. War and Wall Street, Silicon Valley, that's all that's in there. And if the American people aren't taken care of enough, the Democrats will lose a couple of seats in the Senate, at least the Senate probably. And that'll go back to Republican control. And then from 22 to 24, we'll have to hear about, we got to take back the Senate. We got to get more centrism in there. Meow, meow. But nobody wants to look this closely. Nobody wants to admit this. I mean, if the New York Times and the Washington Post are pushing for war, we know the conservatives love war because it's all about flag waving freedoms. But I mean, and people forget too, it was Trump ran in 2016 on an anti-interventionist campaign. He did not run on that again in 2020. I don't know if you noticed. When he was running in 2020, he was just, I'm great. The Democrats are bad. I'm number one. He wasn't saying, I'm going to get us out of all these wars, because he learned as president, oh, you can't say that. You say that too much, you're out. You ramp up war, you get a second term. Obama he dropped more bombs than Bush. He took us from 2 wars to 7. He absolutely got a second term. George W. Bush, of course he got a second term. Bill Clinton bailed, deregulated Wall Street. He gets a second term. All right. Follow the money, connect the dots. That's how you get the truth, right? Thank you, Tim Stack, again for submitting this article. And of course, you can do what Tim does and support the show at patreon.com/Graham Elwood. Follow the money, connect the dots. That's where you get the truth. Shave your knuckles for justice. Boom. Yeah. Go back on tour, Graham. I hope so soon. Hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. 102 likes. Hit the like button. Old Joe Biden had a farm. E-I-E-I-O. What's up? I should let you know that Rockfin has a block feature. And I love it. Roots for Change. Thank you for supporting our show at rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. Hi, Graham. Karen's reading late last year turned out to be a capital protest, not Trump attacking Iran, which I guess it would be. No war is a good thing. Yep. Yeah, she thought it was, she predicted it. Capitalists want war. Vegan guns. Hold on, just fixing it. Hope to see you and run back in Perth one of these days. Oh, I would love that. I would love that. Go fruitarian. I would love to go back on tour. Boop, 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 boop. Beep, boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop, beep, boop, 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 beep, boop, boop. Beep, boop, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, boop, boop. I know. We'll probably be on tour by the spring again, is my guess. What's up, Annabelle? Rummy died too soon. Should have been locked up. I know. I wish he would have been locked up. That would have been great. Shannon J talked about you and Ron going touring. Yeah, it was fun. We'll be back on the road at some point. Good news, Australia is slowly opening up international borders by Christmas. Oh, well, maybe we will be in Australia come the beginning of next year. That would be fun. That would be fun. All right. Clinton is thinking of running in 2024. Which one? Hillary or Chelsea? Wow, that's sad. God, I don't want to see a Clinton run again. I do not want to see a Clinton run again. Oh, God, that would be horrible. All right. Hold on, I'm looking for this video I wanted to play. I'll be right there, kids. All right, I'm getting this video. Sorry, my internet is being a little slow. A little slow moving. Loving you, Ron, Max, Sabby, and Leon Rockfin. Awesome. Thank you, Laura. I'm glad you subscribed too. Venetia David, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Thank you for supporting us at rockfin.com. Hi, Graham. You are the best thing on TikTok. Hippies in Hawaii. Yeah, those are fun. Check that out. My TikTok is at Graham Elwood. Wait, no, this is the one. This is what I want. Hmm. Hold on. Here we go. We're getting this. We're getting this video set up, ladies and gentlemen. We should be ready to go shortly. Just shock the hamsters in your computer to get it moving. I know. I just got to electrocute the hamsters or give them more kibble or whatever you give hamsters. What do you give hamsters? Kibble? That sounds right. That sounds absolutely accurate. Ladies and gentlemen, that sounds 100% accurate. It's not too late to rush to the Canadian border. Yeah. Here's my TikTok channel, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. God, everything is taking so long. All right. I do prepare stuff beforehand, but this one, I did that segment I just did. I prepared beforehand. Come on, what are you watching? It's 2:47 a.m. in Scotland. I can't go to sleep until you've finished, Graham. All right, Jim. How's Scotland? How's everybody? I want to go. I've never been to Scotland. I've been to England, but I've never been to Ireland or Scotland, and I really want to go. Better hope the hamsters don't unionize. I know. That's an excellent point. I'm gonna just... Oh. All right. Here we go. It's great, Graham. You should come for a visit. You'd like it. I will. Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching the Political Vigilante. Well, I've talked about it numerous times on this show about rising sea levels and what they're going to do to our coastlines. And it's, I mean, we just had a bunch of hurricanes from Louisiana up to the East Coast. We had flooding in New York City. It keeps happening. We saw all this flooding over the summer, and we're going to have more of it. I mean, so you don't believe me? Well, here's an organization that just put together videos of basically before and after what just a minor sea level rise is going to do to all these major American cities. So check this out. These are scientific projections. Singapore. Underwater. Cut back, we do the right thing. We could save Singapore. Houston. Underwater. If we do the right thing, we could save Houston. Cape Town, South Africa. Underwater. Done. We can save it. Glasgow. We were just talking about Glasgow. The city I want to visit. We could save it. Hong Kong, a fantastic city. It's underwater. If we do nothing. If we do big actions, which we know we can do. Tunis, never been there. It still might have some flooding. Gdansk, underwater, completely underwater. Or we save it. All these old buildings, ruined or saved. Rio de Janeiro, a fantastic city, underwater. Maybe we save it. I've been to Rio. New York City, underwater. No. Copenhagen, underwater. Look at it. Or maybe not. Which climate future will we choose? Picturingourfuture.org. I've shown you the projected maps at the NOAA.org, which is a National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Right. It's a government agency. Was showing these maps. Just go see what sea rise, what it's going to look like for the coastal cities. Los Angeles, the Santa Monica Pier. You ever been to Santa Monica Pier? It's pretty cool. Might be underwater. We've talked about what if they have to evacuate Miami? They were going to build a big wall to hold the Army Corps of Engineers is going to hold back the water. No, it won't work. They scrapped that idea because they know it won't work because Florida is limestone. So it's just porous. The water will just come up. You can't block it. We can keep using oil. Like the oil that's completely contaminated. Huntington Beach, a place I literally surfed at 3 weeks ago. Bolsa Chica. I was just surfing Bolsa Chica 3 weeks ago. It's closed. Anderson Street, any of these surf breaks, closed, shut down, beaches are closed. Or now they're like, you can go in the sand, but you can't go in the water. That's fun. That's what the beach is all about. Not going in the water because it's contaminated with oil. Yeah, let's just keep using oil. It's working out so well. I mean, all these wars in the Middle East, those have worked out. I mean, this video is just showing you what your future is going to be like. Potential. There's two choices. We saw the whole world kind of react in some unison, some not. Obviously, a lot of this stuff is debatable, but everybody had to do something when COVID hit, right? And you saw this money being spent and things getting shut down and priorities for essential workers. We could do that if we treated climate collapse like it is a way worse pandemic than COVID. We've lost 700,000 people in America. Imagine millions, tens of millions of people dead, displaced. Every fall, I talk about the wildfires in the West Coast. This year, the wildfires started in June. A new fire just broke out in LA. We're going to have more flooding. So when they're evacuating like all of South Florida, is that when we'll wake up? Or no? Because you know what they do? They always can find a scientist and a doctor to say, climate change isn't real. Okay. Anyone can go find one doctor, one scientist, one study. But the global consensus is that we are in climate collapse. And if you don't believe, the scientists, it's fake news, it's a bunch of liberal hippie, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I guess we'll just keep letting the country, the West and the East Coast, get flooded and go on fire. Yeah, let's keep using oil. It's so great, man. Wars and polluting everything and contaminated water, and it's great. Houston, underwater. Miami, evacuated, gone, done. Bye, gone. Galveston, Texas, gone. New Orleans, underwater. You can sail over. You want to go on, right? Want to go to Mardi Gras? You can just throw beads down in the water where New Orleans is now. All right. Let me know how it shakes out, everybody. Let me know how it shakes out. Thanks for watching the show. We'll keep talking about the environment. It's going to take a top-down solution, which means the United States government, we can do grassroots all we want and vote with our dollars. But unless there's mass adoption, unless these corporations are literally held accountable, are you young? Are you a young person? Are you in your 20s or teenage years? There's a good chance you're not going to see your 50th birthday. Is that exciting for you? You have kids or grandkids? Even if there is life on this earth by the year 2050, what's it going to look like? All right. Well, we'll get some stuff done, huh? Or we can just fight about dumb crap like vaccine mandates and masks and fight about dumb crap like that while the whole world's going to be underwater and choking to death on smoke and oil fires. Just remember, the Gulf of Mexico was literally on fire this past summer. That's not that big of a deal. Let's fight about dumb crap. Let's fight about dumb crap. Maybe some celebrity had a breakup or somebody said something in the social media that's dumb. Can we get mad about that? What other dumb crap could we be mad? Did it send an athlete? Oh, did the ref blow the call at the big game? Let's fight about that. Because the human race going extinct, it's not that big of a deal. Right? Did you hear what so-and-so said on so-and-so's show? No, I didn't. Because unless they're talking about this, I really don't have a lot of time for it. Shave your knuckles for justice. Or fight with each other like 12-year-olds. I don't give a shit. Boom. Here, Kate put it in the chat, the coast.noaa. The sea level stuff. I'll actually put it up on the screen so you can take a look at it. Here it is. There it is. Let's put this on the screen right there. Yeah, if you want to just look, and you can predict. It's basically just like a slide. You can just slide this much sea level will do this, and it shows you where the coastlines are going to be flooded. All of America, like East, West Coast, Gulf states, West, everything. It's just going to be flooded. So Targeting of Dave Chappelle fits Graham's Weston's a match distraction paradigm. Bread circus to keep the peasants distracted, divided, and afraid. Don't forget that. Yeah. Government. Oh, we've got a climate change denier in the chat. God, I just really am enjoying blocking people. Graham, you live at the beach. I'm 30 miles inland. Yeah, tar balls in the water. Yeah. Billionaires will be in space by then, so we'll be okay. Yeah, good point. Good point. Leftover beefcake. Good point. Lex Luthor had the right idea. Buy real estate inland, and eventually it will be beachfront property. Yeah, I know. So insane. Australia's been lucky to get rain last few years, so we haven't had a repeat of the catastrophic fire a few years back. Luck is not a climate policy. No, it's not. You're right. I know. All right. Yep. Corporations are driven by greed and they push consumerism. If they don't go big, we're done. I know. So I wanted to do that. Yeah, 116-degree day in Portland this summer. I remember talking about that. It was 110, 115 up in Canada. It's insane. So we'll see what this winter brings. Might be more ice storms, more rain, more flooding. Everything will just get worse. Yeah. Let me go this. Flooding could shut down a quarter of all critical infrastructure in the U.S. Yeah, it's the other thing that just doesn't. It just shows with the flooding, but yet it crushes infrastructure. Right, electric grids. I mean, food distribution, supply lines, hospitals, ambulances, medical supplies. I mean, look at the supply lines that got screwed up and are still getting screwed up just because of COVID. Unreal. Decentralized power through self-sufficiency. Yeah. Only place habitable in Australia in the future. Small island Tasmania. Everyone else too hot. Smart people are buying property there now. Wow. That's crazy. Jim McHenry on Facebook. He's excellent as a public protest all by himself. Wow, that's crazy. AOZ, the climate change. Yeah, macro bad, but micro, it's mixed and unknown. No, yeah, she's just double talking. Yeah. Instead of gross domestic product, how about Bhutan's gross happiness index, which includes sustainable and equitable socioeconomic development and environmental conservation, et cetera? I know, that's great. The Bhutan's fantastic in that regard. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Junipero, Sarah. Yeah. What happens to people who are going to get moved from the coastal properties? It's a great question. Small solar storm we had today. If it was larger, we could be in the Stone Age. I know. Let's do this. Bring this over here. Here's one other thing I wanted to do real quick. No, we don't want that. Here's what we want. There we go. This thing. How was it? We'll do it live. 4 U.S. military bases being built in Norway, Norwegian Arctic. Unreal. Time for my virtual job interview. Wish me luck. Go get it, Annabelle. Just want to let everybody know, no show tomorrow. Thursday, we'll be doing the game show at 7 o'clock Pacific time. And Friday, government secrets. We're supposed to do government secrets yesterday, and Lee's schedule just keeps getting kind of moved around on him, unfortunately. But so we'll be doing Friday at 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern. Gov Seeks. What if Trump is reelected in 2024? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. It's only if the like deep state ruling class thinks he'll be. I don't think they'll let him back in because he didn't shake things up the way his base thought he shook things up. He got too many people involved in politics, and they don't want that. They want everybody back at brunch. They don't want people in the streets like what happened with George Floyd. They're like, oh, this is in reaction to. They don't want people protesting in the streets. They want people arguing on social media and watching, reality TV and shopping and debating sports and crap and nonsense. And that's what they want. That's what they want. Check out Lee Camp's Rad Indie Media. That's cool. Hold on. There's the thing I wanted to do real quick. Here we go. This is what I wanted to talk about. Here we go. Please support the show, ladies and gentlemen, at rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. And if you put a tip in there, I will answer your question. Or Patreon. I have a Venmo. I'll check the Venmo in a second. All right, here we go. Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching The Political Vigilante. Well, Gavin Newsom staved off recall, which I'm not in favor of the recall process in California because someone with 4% of the vote could have become the governor. And I don't think that's right. I think I don't like Gavin Newsom. I did not vote for him. I don't vote for Democrats or Republicans. So, but he got scared that he was going to lose, right? He stopped giving fracking permits, which he gave 24 fracking permits last April. And like the heart of the pandemic shutdown, he was giving out fracking permits, just so everybody knows who that liberal hero is up in Sacramento. And we've been talking a lot on this show for student debt forgiveness and free college in California, which is the 5th largest economy in the world, and used to have free college, used to have like next to nothing college. There was this big piece of legislature, and Gavin Newsom, now that he's still governor for a year, just vetoed it. That would have helped out over 100,000 Californian college students. And basically, he just crippled this. They were trying to expand the financial aid in California, and he crushed it. Don't forget this, you guys. Vote this guy out, and don't vote for a better progressive Democrat. Do not vote for these two corrupt parties. If you're a registered voter in the state of California, don't forget what he just did to you. Are you a college kid? Because here's what he just did to you. Gavin Newsom vetoed the most consequential legislation to college financial aid reform in a generation. What that means for California students, for California's higher education system, the seemingly endless summer of good budget news came to a screeching halt when Gavin Newsom vetoed the most consequential legislation to college financial reform in a generation. AB 1456 won't become a reality, rebuffing a legislature that unanimously supported the legislation, which means the state representatives in the state legislature all their constituents, everyone in California is like, we need this, we need this, we need this, we need this. College tuition is already way too expensive. It would have increased by about 150,000 the number of community college, Cal State, University of Cal, and private college students eligible for the Cal Grant, the state's chief financial aid program. So they would have been giving more financial aid to more people. An educated populace is good for a democracy, but America does not have a democracy. We have a kleptocracy run by oligarchs, and the oligarchs don't want a well-informed populace. If the electorate is well-informed and well-educated, they're not easy to control. Look how easy it is to control, get Americans to fight with each other. Get Americans to believe whatever. Oh, masks don't work. How many people think the earth is flat? I mean, it's easy. When people aren't educated, they'll buy anything. Let's break down. There's a lot of people on Twitter, a lot of organizations on Twitter that were very critical of it. This is Cal Matters. It would have topped off a banner year for legislators who for years sought to reduce the cost of college. This was a game-changing bill. He voted it down. Without it, they lose out on $1,648 a year while in community college and free tuition at Cal State or UC school. Over 110,000 students at community colleges would have become eligible for the Cal Grant if it was signed into law, but he vetoed it. The state legislator said yes. One person got to veto it, the governor. I mean, I wouldn't be happy if Larry Elder was the current governor. He would have vetoed this too, by the way, just so we're clear. Larry Elder would have absolutely vetoed this and said, you're going to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. This is Gavin Newsom, your liberal hero. But gee, what's going on? What's going on? I mean, what's going on in California? What's going on in California? I'm going to show you this tweet from a couple months ago. The two Californias. The two Californias. A tale of two Californias. On the left are just the streets of San Francisco and Los Angeles. On the right is a big Democratic fundraiser.
We have in store for later, but for now, question was asked this morning by Ambassador Sullivan.
Oh, look at that nice food. And then look at all those people living in tents. Nancy Pelosi speaking in the background, a bunch of rich people.
And one of the main responses we have in store for later, but for
This is a DCCC lunch discussing critical issues for everybody in Napa Valley, like the richest part of California. And then there's people living in squalor.
And one of the main responses we have in store for later, but for now,
This is just San Francisco.
question was asked.
LA has this worse than I've ever seen. I was just talking to a friend of mine in New York City. He's like, who hasn't lived in New York City in a couple of years, and just is like, this is the worst he's ever seen. Sacramento has this. San Diego has this. Riverside, San Bernardino has this.
Question was asked this morning by Ambassador Sullivan about young people and how we're reaching out.
They're trying to reach, and she's talking about reaching young people.
We always ask them,
You mean all the young people that are facing eviction or having to work 3 jobs, or are those the young people you want to reach, Nancy Pelosi? Those are the young people you want to reach? Well, it's unbelievable. So that's what Gavin Newsom is doing. Yay, we don't have Larry Elder, but then this is what you get with the Democratic Party. You cannot reform that party from within. And we're going to keep playing this dumb game. Vote out the Republicans, vote in the Democrats, then vote out the Republicans. These two corrupt, awful parties. I've lived in California for 25 years. I've seen Gray Davis. I've seen Arnold Schwarzenegger. I've seen Brown, Jerry Brown, now Gavin Newsom. Brown kind of was okay, but Brown, you know, when he was running for president in the early 90s, was for Medicare for all. And then as governor, he's like, oh, I'm against it. He really likes single payer healthcare, and now he doesn't want to do it. The Democratic Party in 2017 voted down single payer healthcare. The Democrats controlled the state assembly. They controlled all the major mayors. I mean, the Los Angeles, San Francisco, the two biggest cities. They get all this rich fundraising money from Napa Valley and Silicon Valley and Hollywood, right? Those are three giant industries: the wine, tech, and entertainment. Those are three massive industries. That's why California is the fifth largest economy in the world. So there's no reason there shouldn't at least be, there should be just free college in California for in-state residents. But we can't even get tuition aid. So if you're one of the 150,000 people that could have benefited from this bill that all of your state legislatures approved, but Governor Newsom said no, you better remember this next November. You better vote his ass out, and don't vote in another dumb Democrat or some shithead Republican like Larry Elder. Vote in someone from like the People's Party. That's what needs to happen. That would transform California. The Democratic Party doesn't care about you. They just don't care about you. Gavin Newsom is a rich kid. Just like Nancy Pelosi. They don't care. You're struggling that you could have used that $1,600 to get financial aid to get you through college. You got to go to a community college or a state school because that's all you can afford. Well, he could have made it better or easier for you, but it's going to stay hard. Yay, the Democrats. They're so much better. All right. Shave your knuckles for justice. Boom. And that's our show, citizens of Gotham. Bolsa Chica. Vincent Sandoval, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Vincent, thank you for supporting our show at rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. Graham, when you are a crypto billionaire, would you consider funding a bomb that targets corrupt asshole politicians and the ruling elite, please? I have some machining experience. You got it, Vincent. High grade steel. It gives that nice. Oh, I'm down for a new katana, a live blade. Oh. Artisan guillotine sounds like a great investment opportunity. Yes. 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 No love for the 1%. All right, everybody on YouTube, I'm going to go over to Rockfin to sing some karaoke. Hit the like button, like, share, subscribe. We'll be back on Thursday for the Anything Could Happen game show with the co-host Rod Blickeld. Friday, Government Secrets. Tune in for all those fine programmings. So I cannot do karaoke on the YouTube. So jump on over to Rockfin. Go to rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. I will be over there momentarily. Everybody at the YouTube, thank you so much for watching. Please hit the like button. Join us. Join us at the Rockfin. We have 195 likes. Let's get that to 200. 200 likes. Kebab. Abbott and Costello, Laurel and Hardy, Democrats and Republicans. Yep. There we go. All right, YouTube. Thank you, everybody, for watching on YouTube. We'll be going over to Rockfin in a second. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. We will see you Thursday. Bye bye, YouTube. Shave your knuckles for justice.